Hey, everybody, I'm Jane, and you're listening to the Medium Curious podcast, the show that takes the woo and makes it woohoo. Actually, that's kind of more of a woohoo that happens when I'm with Sarah. This is a Sunday solo, and actually, this is going to be our last episode of the year as we need a minute to attend to our families and recalibrate, like I think we all do at the end of the year. So, just to let you know, this will be the last new episode coming out until we come back from the break. But I wanted to come on tonight because I have some thoughts and theories and some ideas to bring to y'all to see what you think. I have been in this wild experiment where I have had these revelations, let's call them, where I have been finding some really old, really loud, really mistaken, and really inaccurate belief systems that have been running this system. And I wanted to bring it to y'all to see if I could offer some of this revelation magic that's been happening. And basically what I'm saying is that, we inherit, we learn, we get all kinds of information that comes at us throughout our entire lives. And some of these ideas, some of these beliefs calcify into something very, very solid. And like I said a second ago, it's kind of like I realized that it's possible my whole operating system has some bugs, needs a reboot. And I'll tell you a story of the first profound one that happened, and then how it's just become a theme. This idea that there are these beliefs that are, not wanting the best for us, yet they are running the dang show. So here's my story. I was working with my therapist, who is just phenomenal. I've been with her for, a dozen years. And we kept bumping up against something. And it was even happening interpersonally where, I realized that if someone told me that I was doing it wrong or I had done it wrong, it would feel like a much bigger deal than it should. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just totally fair and fine to be wrong. We're all wrong all the time. That's just part of the human existence, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I was wrong, and I'm like the first person to admit that I'm wrong. Like it's weird. Like I don't have a problem admitting it when I figure it out. But when someone comes at me and they're like, oh my gosh, you're wrong. And let me tell you why. I swear it feels like they're trying to kill me. Now, I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I know it sounds utterly insane. But with the help of my therapist, I was kind of unpacking it. And I realized that my inaccurate, my untrue story that I've been running is that if I am wrong, I'm going to die. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's really, crazy isn't the right word. Isn't that like wildly inaccurate? Like, of course, again, of course I'm going to be wrong. We're all going to be wrong. Wrong is part of the fun of this place. Right. And so, it was a super beautiful process that she took me through where we kind of looked at, and it was almost like we were sneaking up on the belief. And the belief, and she sort of asked me, like, where is it in your body? And I looked, and it was deep, y'all. It was deep. It was so in there and so embedded, and it looked, I'll spare you the visual because I did get a pretty graphic visual, but let me just say it did not look safe to remove this belief. Like I could not imagine the proper surgical procedure that it would take for this human to release and move on from that idea. Luckily, I was with a very skilled practitioner, and she and I walked up to it very carefully. And I know this is sounding esoteric because 100% it was, but one of the more beautiful parts of the process was she invited me to ask for help. Now, here on Medium Curious, we talk a lot about guides and angels and the support, of course, our loved ones on the other side who are constantly looking after us, attending to us, wanting the best for us. And we even this fall, we replayed the Perdita episode where she talks about how she like leans on all of her dead people and really employs them and asks them to take care of like life stuff. But when something this emotional and this profound was uncovered, I turned to angels. I was like, I'm going to go with a divine and sacred entity that is not going to have any human stuff in there. You know what I mean? So and I also called in my guides and I said, I need help, y'all. And then there was this other belief that if I removed that belief, that it was like, it was interesting. Like she tuned into the fact that there were kind of two beliefs stacked on top of each other. One was this core belief that if I'm wrong, I'm going to die, which is just so wildly inaccurate. And then the next on top of that was like, and without that belief, I'm going to be unstable or something. There was like some other like layered belief on top of the belief. So we very carefully approached and removed that belief. And it was like, obviously the way we did it was with an intention, like, okay, I am going to release that and no longer align to that belief. And then she suggested something really beautiful, which was that these helpers that I'd called in, the angels and guides and whatnot, was just to ask for their help and see what was needed. And it was almost like a psychic surgery, you guys. It was wild because I kind of watched how like we approached it, how we removed it, how it left space that needed to be filled. And again, I'm going to share you the graphical details, but just remember the old ER episodes or whatever medical show you're watching right now. And that's the visual I had. So we filled that with light, like my guides. And it was so beautiful. It was almost like they were streaming in this little stream of light that came right into the spot where this old belief was now gone from. And I asked, like, okay, how long does this need to go on? And do I need to do anything more to sort of take care of this? And I heard, give it kind of a day and just be real gentle with yourself. And yeah. So anyway, to say that was a profound experience would be speaking lightly. It was wild. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been in various forms of therapy since my 20s. So most of my adult life, with a few breaks in there, but I always feel this kind of support is exceptionally helpful because of all the perspectives and all the kind of additional, like in this case, a surgeon. It was like psychic surgery. So anyway, I wanted to tell you all that story and then to go to the bigger context of like how we find these beliefs, how we unearth these beliefs. I have a couple of offerings for you, and this is mostly coming in from my guides at this point. And what I'm hearing at this moment is that what we want to do is sort of tune in to the moments where we get upset and sort of almost like, this is funny the way they're saying it. It's almost like take a snapshot. So like this actually happened today. Someone really upset me with the way they approached me, partially because they did it from a like, I know the answer, you don't, and I'm going to tell you what to do without checking in with you, that kind of vibe. And I was like, golly, why did I get so upset about the way that woman spoke to me today? And I realized it's a little bit of a lack of curiosity about the actual problem or a lack of desire just to listen to me speak about a problem that I'm having without trying to fix it. So what would be, I'm obviously unpacking it again for myself. What would be the mistaken belief there? Well, I think the belief right then was that I had to respectfully listen to her speech. Whereas I think if I were to go back and rewrite that scene, I think I would have said like, oh, you know what? I really appreciate that you have a lot of wisdom about this. But I think for now, what I am just kind of hanging out in the discomfort of it. And I don't need a solution. would anyone say that? Would I have actually said that, y'all? I don't know. I'm spitballing here, but what they're trying to tell me is like, imagine that we take a snapshot of the moment they're upset and then kind of hold on that and then come back to it, like what I'm doing right now, and sort of try to unpack like, okay, can we find the thing, the belief, the story that's holding that space where I'm going to fall into another rabbit hole of feeling upset or having an upset. And because each of these stories, each of these beliefs that we either, like I said, inherited or have held on to with unreasonably strong hands is likely a belief that helps keep us safe, that at least in our minds helps keeps us safe. So in the case, obviously, if I have this crazy idea that if I'm wrong, I'm going to die, I'm going to really hold on to that because I don't particularly want to die, not yet. So kind of like obviously carefully walking in on that one. Or if I believe that, sorry, I don't want to keep using myself as an example. I'm trying to just come up with an example. Like if the belief is that money is only in the hands of people who are, not in integrity, that'd be a good one to unpack. It's like, oh, I don't want a ton of wealth or a ton of money because people who have a ton of wealth are never in integrity. Well, that's not true. And so that would be one to kind of look at and dig through and, of course the game, and I'm not a therapist, but it's sort of that game of like, wow, where did you hear that? And what are the words that you continue to say to keep backing up that belief and keep kind of buoying it up and sort of cementing it in further? So I'm just going to think of like one more example, and it's not even like you have to go all the way to the like wild psychic surgery that I had. I mean, I kind of had to pull that out because I thought I was going to die. So that was too much. So what if it's like, okay, I have a belief that that much wealth creates like a lack of integrity. And I could just be like, I'm curious. Is it possible that some people have a ton of integrity and a ton of money? I mean, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, whose name isn't coming to me, is a great example, right? Like she's just giving money to causes she doesn't even have a foundation with her name on it, right? Like she's like, I know what to do with money. It's help people. So she's a great example. And I'm sure there's like thousands more, but I think that money has just an energy that is very exciting. I've been calling money a lesson stick my whole life. Like, oh, you mean the lesson stick? The place where I get all my lessons is in the kind of dance with money. So anyway, y'all, I guess what I'm really hoping to bring here right as we head into the holiday season, and hopefully you have those fireside introspective moments, that time with a cup of tea, that walk with your bestie where you can kind of start to unpack some of these and go like, what is in my operating system that is running me? And what I would also offer is that the best place from my experience outside of the therapy room is in meditation, or right outside of, right on the other side of meditation, is like when you're in that kind of softened, sweet state and your whole kind of self is open to the other side, to your higher self, to the answers of your guides, of your loved ones. And just, it's so crazy. You can literally just ask the question, like, what do I need to know about a belief that is creating havoc? What do I need to know? What are some beliefs that are keeping me stuck? That's a great question. And we've talked about this quite a bit on here, but there's this beautiful two-way prayer that I have context with the two-way prayer from recovery, but I've talked a lot about Elizabeth Gilbert's letters from love. So that's the kind of call and response I'm talking about, right? Like if you were to sit down and write a letter to your higher self or your guides or your God or whoever's divine and fabulous and sacred, and you could be like, write down the question, what belief is holding me back from my highest expression, say, or what belief is keeping me distant from my partner, or what stories are running me right now. And believe you me, your hand will start going and you'll have all kinds of wild clarity that will come through your own little hand. And that game is just a game of trust, like all of these subtle games of intuition, mediumship, and the like. It's so subtle and yet clear. So anyway, it's time to light a candle and just go into the deep dark right before the light comes back in a couple days. Gosh, we're less than 10 days away from the solstice. How cool. And but it is the right time, to really ask, what is it that's holding me back? How can I heal this story? How can I uninvite a mistaken, inaccurate, less than helpful story so that I can be more joyous, more present, more loving, showing up more. And I would say largely for yourself, honeys, my little honeys, really for yourself. I'm almost to my damn mid-50s here in a second, in a couple weeks. And I have to tell you, it's taken me so long to get to the place where I am sweethearting myself more than I am trying to please everyone else. And I'll leave y'all with one more story before we close. I had a situation this week where, for several other people's agenda, it would have been much better for me to say, oh, okay, let's do that. But I had such a loud intuition about this situation, and I won't share the details, but it just sucked because it just logistically and, personality wise and whatever, it would have just been better for me to be like, yeah, it's fine. Let's just do it. But my loud intuition was like, no, thanks. No, thank you. We've talked a lot about kind of like how we get our answers. And for me, I use my head as a pendulum. And so I'm like literally almost trying to force my head to go to the yes instead of the no. But I had such a loud no about this particular situation. So it's like just right before I opened this mic, I had to text someone and offer disappointing news, like news I knew they would not like. And it's hard. It's so hard because it's just easier to please people. But what's hard and what's great is when you can honor yourself and trust your intuition and know that there's a reason that you don't yet know, but you'll be glad in ways that you probably won't ever have to know because you're trusting your gut. So, jeez. And for anyone who has a belief, which I have certainly had and probably could do another psychic surgery on, about how other people are more important than us, that's a good one to look at too, because that's what I was working with at that point. I was like, these other people are more important than me and my little intuition. So I was scared. I was scared, y'all. I was very scared, but yay me. I did right by my inner guidance, also I would say it was like my inner child was all fired up. So, that's another note for another time, but, I'm no expert on inner child work, but I can tell you that the little bit that I've done is so darn sweet. I'm going to be buying my inner child some markers this season. So anyway, I hope this has felt helpful, team. I hope that you are going to have some time to yourself over the holiday to reflect on how you can release and find and replace some ideas that are not serving you, and with all the subtlety and the beauty of the darkness. And happiest of holidays to all y'all. We will miss y'all terribly, but super look forward to seeing you in the new year. And we have a couple of amazing guests that are going to be back to back as we start out next year. So we'll all have that to look forward to. But I do want to add two more things. One, we are starting the Claire Club mid-January. As you've heard, there was a lot of joy and a lot of fun in the last group. We will have all new exercises, you'll get to meet incredible humans on the same journey that you're on, like budding intuition, budding mediums. And you don't have to have any kind of like skills really yet. You can be just starting out, and you can join us on the Claire Club. And by the way, if you would like to be entered into a giveaway to get into the club of Claire's for free, just drop us an email through our website, mediumcurious.com. That's one way to enter the giveaway. But we will also, of course, have a little Instagram post with the ability to put your name into the chat there and be entered to win. And you can enter in all kinds of ways. So go over to Instagram to find out other ways to enter to win that sweepstakes for a free Claire Club for 6 weeks. 2 sessions a week. And it's seriously, y'all, it's so much fun. And then I also want to let y'all know that I am going to be opening up a new cohort in the beginning-ish of February for the higher calling, for the program that I have incredible participants who are just oh my God, they are the best. If y'all are listening, I love you so much. It's ridiculous. So if you are interested, if this is pinging you and you're feeling the call, come on over to janemorganmedium.com and I will have up some new info about the new cohort starting in February. All right, my sweet humans. Love y'all. And again, the happiest of holidays. And thank you for listening to us and supporting us. And we love y'all more than we can say. And be sure to share this, download, and rate it. Ooh, leave us a review, guys. That would be an amazing holiday gift. And we would be so, so grateful. All right, friends, take good care. Lots of love. Bye.
Very Soul is our sponsor for Medium Curious. Jane and I are both Very Soul mediums.
Oh, yes, we are. Verysoul.com, y'all. Inspired by spirit, guided by love, and brought to life by mediums.
Medium Curious is made possible
by Jane Morgan Editing.
Sarah Rathke made the amazing music.
And you can help Medium Curious by downloading the episodes.
And the dogs under the desk in Utah are Kalea and Domino.
And Trixie in California.